Guys, Coach Kurt. So by request, I'm doing a video on Krav Maga. Is it BS or is it legit? Well, just like so many other things in life, it depends on how you do it and who you're getting instruction from and so forth. Well, most people are interested in Krav Maga because they don't want to be a victim. They want to be another crime statistic, and they're interested in straight up self-defense.
Give me your purse, now!
That's my purse. Don't be afraid to shout it. That's my purse! Try it again. That's my purse! I don't know you!
If you've seen any of my videos, you know I talk about self-defense being different from fighting, and we're talking about self-defense purely in the physical aspect of it. You know, we're not talking about keys in your hand, parking under a light, not going places where you shouldn't go, and traveling in groups, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's so many aspects of self-defense that we're not talking about in this video. We're talking about straight up the physical self-defense of somebody's attacking you and how to defend yourself. So what is Krav Maga? Well, Krav Maga is used by the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF. It is basically a military combatives program system. You know, I'm not only been a cop for the last 27 years and teach control tactics and do martial arts, but I was also in the United States Army. I was in the United States Air Force. I've done both programs. I'm familiar with military combatives. And, you know, I did Krav Maga for about 2, maybe 3 years total, various instructors, and been to several schools. And like I said, I've seen a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to Krav Maga. In short, Krav Maga is an amazing program to get somebody the basics of how to defend themselves. Now remember, this is a military combatives program. The IDF invented it to basically incorporate into their basic training. If you don't know, Israeli citizens have a mandatory service in the military. 3 years for men, 2 years for women. Yes, you heard that right. Women are drafted just like the men. When you're surrounded by your enemies, everybody has to fight, and that's all there is to it. It's a great way to get the masses basic self-defense, hand-to-hand combat training, quick, fast, and hurry during whatever their basic training is. Generally speaking, basic training is usually around 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, depending on the branch of service. In law enforcement, you have an 18-week, 20-week, 25-week, whatever academy, and they have combatives programs or control tactics. Depending on your need, it depends on how much you're going to get. So here's the deal. Like I said, they teach you how to defend yourself quick, fast, and in a hurry in a hand-to-hand situation. Also, how to maybe disarm somebody that's trying to come at you with a knife or a gun or what have you. The difference between law enforcement and military is going to be different from citizen. Like a citizen, somebody's going to come at them with a knife. They're going to defend themselves against the knife or the gun. They're going to hit them a bunch of times and then run away. Military, they'll back off and then they'll shoot them because it's a different environment. It's a combat environment. Law enforcement, you would then handcuff them. One thing that I learned in control tactics, at least this is how they taught us in control tactics use of force, the concept of hit them back first, more force now equals less force later. And if you take that concept and apply it to Krav Maga, that's what you got. It is overwhelm them with a bunch of violence and aggression because they attacked you, and then you basically attack the attack. That's a strong belief in behind Krav Maga. So, Krav Maga. Listen, I've been to different schools or many different organizations, and in its purest form, Krav Maga is a great way to learn to defend yourself. Now, Krav Maga is developed quite a bit in the civilian world, especially here in America and Europe and other places. It differs from its military counterpart. Krav Maga basically is contact combat. In English, we would say close combat. That is the concept of it. You know, an urban environment, somebody's attacking you. You know, remember in Israel they have terrorists and other things, and so everybody has to learn how to defend themselves, and that's the concept behind it. Now, a good Krav Maga school will teach you just that. Now, they've incorporated a lot of Krav Maga programs have incorporated belt systems. Traditionally, Krav Maga technically isn't a martial art. It's a combatives program or a self-defense program, military combatives, just like the Army combatives or Marine Corps martial arts program, very MMA based, self-defense based. And Krav does a lot of the same thing. They've taken concepts from different styles of martial arts and incorporated it into the program and came up with what they came up with. Now, different Krav Maga organizations are going to have different programs as far as different techniques against these types of attacks or that kind of attack. But they're all very similar, by the numbers, line training, very similar to back in the day in the military. If you've ever been in the military, you're familiar with the concept of line training. So listen, is it a good thing? Yes. If you're getting instruction from a quality Krav Maga instructor, there are programs out there where they went to the Krav Maga weekend seminar and they got certified to be a Krav Maga instructor. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who legitimately knows and understands Krav Maga, and a good Krav Maga school will also incorporate a good grappling program. Again, what I've heard at so many Krav Maga schools, they'll do 45 minutes of combat-based or, MMA-based type training, ground and pound on a heavy bag, hitting bags, going ballistic on focus mitts, elbows, really aggressive ballistic attacks, and then you'll do like 15 minutes of actual self-defense techniques at the end. I don't agree with that. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be fit, but there should be a vigorous warm-up program, just like you might get in the military, and then you're going to learn self-defense techniques. Your combatives, how to strike. Somebody attacks you from a choke. How do you defend against a choke from the front, the rear, the back, all that kind of stuff. You get deep in the weeds on all the different angles that you're going to get a choke from. Knife defense, pistol defense, long gun defense, different strikes. And then Krav Maga is really good at, they have a concept called the 360 defense. It's kind of a generic, similar to the flinch response in how to defend against a punch, but that same defense will work against somebody slashing at you with a knife. You get the idea. It's very versatile. Back to the drawing board, though, you're going to want to find a program that, yes, they'll teach you these 6, 8, 10 weeks of real strong self-defense based techniques, but then they're also going to have some kind of kickboxing MMA type program that basically teach you how to go beyond, somebody grabs you by the wrist, step one, what do you do? They grab you by the throat, step one, how do you respond to that? That's great and dandy, but you're going to want to excel beyond that. You're going to want to find a program that has a strong grappling program, because you will end up on the ground and you have to be a good enough grappler to get back up on your feet. I'm not suggesting you should go to the ground on purpose or stay on the ground any longer than you have to, but you will at some point end up on the ground. So you need something like a Gracie Combatives program incorporated into that school. Doesn't have to be Gracie Combatives, can be anything. You get the idea. A good kickboxing or MMA based striking program would also be great to incorporate into it. So I hope I answered your question. I can do a more in length one if you want. That's my take on Krav Maga. It is a good thing if you find the right school. Everybody like, subscribe, and share.
Karate! Krav Maga! Ha! He! Ha! He!
No! Quit going for my groin!
No groin, no Krav Maga!
Oh! 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 Oh!
Hello, groin!